welcome back to the House of Fins. My name is Danny and I'm going to walk you through some of the really awesome fish that we have in stock today. Alrighty, so first up we have the Dr. Seuss Fish. This is a really awesome deep water fish. Definitely not a reef safe option, but a really cool candidate for those oddball fish only keepers. Not one that you're going to see around very often. He is a very rare species. Really personable and somewhat intuitive. Like, he's going to be out and about, you know, checking you out and then dive back into the rock work. You know, he'll eat pretty much anything that fits in his mouth. He has a pretty large mouth, so a lot of things can fit in it, a lot of shrimp and stuff like that. So definitely be smart about who you're putting him in a tank with. You know, like I said earlier, he's going to be diving into rock work. You definitely want to make sure that the tank that you're putting him in has enough rock work in him for him to feel safe and comfy, because that's where he's going to be found in the wild. He's going to be found surrounded by rocks and stuff like that. So that's what's going to make him feel the happiest. And a really neat character. I mean, you're not going to see a lot of fish that look like him, and could even potentially make a really neat centerpiece species as well. Alrighty, next up we have the Razer Gobies. These are really awesome oddball species. You know, very uncommon, not too much known about them. They're a deep water species, so they prefer, you know, lower light situations like that, but as you can see, they're pretty out and about. They're also a social fish. I'd recommend doing like a minimum 3 of them if you do decide to go with these guys. Fairly reef safe. They're not really going to mess with coral or, you know, anemones or anything like that. There could potentially be a risk that they go after smaller shrimp, but other than that, they should leave most other things alone. Really awesome, really unique shape to them. As you can see, they're really thin, like almost paper thin. They also have a really cool rounded face, kind of makes them look like those giant oarfish that everyone sees pictures of. They also have a really beautiful blue iridescence on their face as well, which is really nice. But yeah, for the most part, a really awesome, unique alternative to, you know, the typical like zebra pink bar gobies and stuff like that. Alrighty, next up we have the swimming football, the aberrant tang. Really awesome specimen. Another really uncommon fish. This is a naturally occurring situation where this color form, this color mutation occurs out in the wild. Really striking. I mean, basically a golden tang that's swimming around in this tank right now. As you can see, he's definitely a larger species of tang. These are the nigricaudid tangs, this specific species. So you're definitely going to want to supply him with enough space. Obviously a reef safe fish, not going to mess with coral or anything like that. The big thing for them is just making sure they have enough space to swim around. You know, he's not necessarily done growing either. There's still some time for him to get bigger. But as you can see, I mean, a really striking fish, one that's out and about fairly frequently. You're definitely going to want to treat him like other larger tangs. You know, he does have a risk of being defensive. Make sure he's going into a tank with other larger tank mates, and he'll be a really cool candidate for you. Alrighty, last and most certainly not least, we have the Europa Tang. This is a really awesome fish. Talk about rare. I mean, this is the very definition of. It's believed that there's under 20 in existence. This is a hybrid between a yellow tang and a purple tang, so you're kind of getting the best of both worlds color-wise. You're going to get that striking yellow on the fins as well as that purple body, as well as some really cool patterning on his sides as well. He's definitely fairly rambunctious, as you can see. He's kind of the boss of this tank, even at this size. So he's definitely taking on that purple tang personality, which is really fascinating to see. It's interesting to see what he might turn out to be when he gets older. No one's really actually seen adult specimens before, so it's kind of a learning process for everyone who has these. But like I said, really cool. Obviously a reef safe fish as well. He's not messing with coral or inverts or anything like that. As we can see, personality wise, he's probably going to be the boss of the tank. But other than that, a really awesome kind of a fish that you can kind of stunt on people with. Like, this is a flex fish for sure. But yeah, really awesome that we have one of these in stock. Thank you for tuning in for this week's video. Be sure to leave a like as well as following us on all of our social media platforms, being Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you next week.